my children! It's time to revisit another storyline of Charles Band's Puppet Master comics. So, let's see how many of you I have strings attached to. At the end of the second Puppet Master movie, Investigator Camille was brought back to life by the puppets for some nefarious purpose. She traveled with them in a puppet show to a hospital for disturbed children. As entertainment! Because nothing is better for troubled children than a colorful show about puppets with flamethrowers. At the Burleston Institution, it is Halloween night, and the children are having their fun. Eating candy, dressing in masks, bullying a child with anxiety issues and a wooden leg, you know, the standard stuff. The child, Anthony, is tired of all the bullying and abuse, so he decides to embrace the legend of Camille at the hospital, searching for her in the abandoned wing of the hospital and crying out for her help in stopping the bullies. The janitor takes him away, telling him she's just a fairy tale. And yet soon his bullies find themselves gutted with a very alive-looking Camille near them. With the doctors not believing his story about Camille, Anthony heads to the Bodega Bay Inn and endears himself to the puppets, both for repairing another doll and showing them his wooden leg. He asks for their help in dealing with Camille. It seems they abandoned her at some point. The puppets agree to come along. Although, if you recall the last storyline, the puppets are still indebted to the demon Anapa, who has his first two tasks for them. Fortunately, only Leech Woman and Six Shooter are required for that, so the others are free to accompany Anthony back to the Institute, where we see that the janitor has kept Camille's wooden body around, since he loves her. While each woman deals with a leech on society, Anthony meets up with a friend of his named Cedar as the puppets seek out Camille, finding her in the middle of murdering another child. Except when Blade stabs her, she bleeds! This Camille is not made of wood. Six Shooter, in the meantime, steals some ancient trinkets from a museum for Anapa, having to kill two guards in the process. Anapa's servants bring the two puppets back to the Institute, for their third task involves Decapitron killing a boy who has already manipulated others. While he goes and does that, some of the puppets go looking for Camille with the janitor, who claims that Camille wouldn't hurt anyone. But someone has been hurting people, and it is revealed to be Anthony's psychiatrist. She was so fascinated by the stories of Camille the children would tell her. But then the stories stopped, so she had to make some of her own. However, before she can murder Anthony, Cedar leads her away, claiming to have seen Camille moving around. When she returns, the puppets free Anthony, as she tries to convince them to make her their new master. After all, they were made for killing. And that's exactly what they do! Kill her! They restore the real Camille with an injection of the life-giving formula that powers them all. But immediately upon revival, she talks about killing the children. Fortunately, they planned for this, Leech Woman draining the liquid out of her again. They gave her a chance, but the truth was that she was just a bad person. Anthony decides to leave with the puppets, inviting Cedar to accompany him. However, she thinks she still needs the hospital. Cedar has a special gift, able to see things about people not obvious. And unfortunately, she sees something in Anthony that's not pleasant. Speaking of not pleasant, while Anthony goes with the puppets back to the inn, his father shows up at the Institute looking for him. His identity? Neil Gallagher, the villain of the first movie. Upon learning that his son has gone missing, he says everything is as it should be, and shoots himself in the head. The Boy of Wood storyline answers some long-forgotten questions of the Puppet Master movies, while opening up some new ones. But most importantly, it still gives us puppets killing people, and really, that's what we're all here for.